Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of our ArchiCAD tutorial. My name is ArchiCAD and today we are going to be looking at Module 6, which is documentation and 2D output. Now under this Module 6, we are going to be looking at floor plan, setup, section and elevation, 3D documents, annotation and dimensions, labels and markers. So I think we will try to do a summary of everything in this module, documentation and 2D output. If this is your first time coming across this channel, do well to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you will get updated with subsequent video uploads. Without saying much, let's head right into the business of the day. First of all, floor plans setup. What you are seeing on screen is a typical bungalow design, completely annotated. As you can see when I zoom in, so when I zoom out, you see that we have our site, which is properly dimensioned and everything. It's in it with camera views and all 3D. These camera views are for generating perspective views and 3D documents. So if you zoom in, you see that the floor plans are properly dimensioned both internally and externally. If you zoom further, you will notice that we have the rooms annotated and we have tags to the different elements like windows, doors and the rest of it. So the furniture layouts are there and pretty much everything you'd love to see or you were taught to see in a floor plan. Now also you will notice that there is wall thickness. There is contrast between the walls and just their spaces. So you notice that the wall thickness is more than the furniture layout thickness, and we have our dimension markers thickness is heavier than the dimension line and text itself. So that is what we are talking about when we say floor plan setup. Floor plan setup is what you do in order to give your building or your design the professional look that is required of it to be seen as a working drawing. Take for example, let's go to the previous one we were working on. If you head over to the floor plan, let me turn off this. If you head over to the floor plan, you will notice that although the walls are thick, I think we set something out. We set this before. Although the walls are thick, they're not as thick compared to this. I don't know. You see, it's almost proportional view, but the thickness are not the same. I don't know if you notice. Even if I zoom in, the thickness are not the same. Alright, so now that's because I have set this one properly, but this other one I haven't set anything yet. So probably maybe I set, but not to standard. So in order for us to set those things, those elements, first of all you have to put your dimension, put your furniture and put your tags. So after doing that, then you can go ahead to do your settings. So this is the one where we have put our furniture. So that means that's the one we are probably going to take measurements for or probably tag. So let's let's quickly do that in a couple of minutes. So to dimension is very easy. Just click on your dimension tool, and then you go to the edge, click there and click there, right click, okay, drop it where you want it to, right click there, left click there, left click here, right click on any part, okay, drop it where you want it to. So that's how you do it. That's how simple it is. Now, with that being done, make sure that you also dimension externally too. Now, how ArchiCAD works for dimensioning is that you left click on all the points you want to pick for your dimension line, then you right click on any part of the screen after left clicking on those points. So you see, right click on any part of the screen just once, and then you click OK. So when you click OK, it will bring up the circle. So when you move to the circle and show it where you want the dimension line to be drawn. If you want it to be drawn sideways, see, it's not going to make sense. If you want it to be drawn up, you go to the center there and take it up. So when you drop it here, that's what you have. Easy peasy. So you do the same thing for the sides. You know, actually there are majorly three lines of dimensions in any floor plan, professional floor plan design. So the first one is for all the spaces, all the marker spaces. Second one is for the major space, that's here, major marked area or major curves, bends, 1, 2 and the end. So that's for the second one. Then the last one is overall. So this is our overall. I hope you get just the same way I did this. Let's go to the edge and see. So that is it. So take your time to come up with the dimensions. Take your time to come up with the dimensions, and I'll wait for you. Now, you can pause the video and make sure that you generate the dimensions. Second thing is how to make this wall thickness, pronounced or thicker than it already is. First of all, if you are not convenient with thickness, in order for you to find some points that you need, you can turn it off by right clicking on the screen and turning off true line width. You see, even if I zoom in, it's not going to be thick because I've turned off true line width. Let's turn it back on so that we can work on the thickness to standard. Now, normally the thickness used for walls are usually 0.7 mm thickness or 0.5. I think this should be around 0.5, but I love using 0.7 to make it pronounced. So to do that, first of all, let's know what line is this. What's the name of the line that is used for the wall? So if I click here, if I select the wall, I can go to the settings and find out what the name of that line is, so that I can adjust it in the line settings. So I've selected the wall. I will go to the line plan and section. I will go to the cut surface. So in the cut surface, the line that is used, the line type that is used is solid line, which is a straight line. But then the line, the pen thickness, it's as you can see, is 0.35 mm, whereas I said the professional standard thickness for wall sections are 0.5 mm or 0.7 mm. So let's change that. Now I could click here and look for a line, a pen type that is 0.7 thickness. So let's hover around. I think there is none. The thickest line here is 0.35. That is why we are getting ourselves into this result. So what we have to do is we have to edit one of the lines that is 0.35 and make it what we want. So if this is the line, let's check. If this is the line that's being used, then I have to edit it and make it 0.5 or 0.7. So now, how do you edit the line? Let's close that. Go to your options, element, attributes, and go to pen and color. So that's how you edit the thickness of line. So when I go there, as you can see, we have available templates, and we also have the line thickness for the available templates. Now, normally architectural plans by default in ArchiCAD doesn't have 0.5 thickness. The highest is 0.35. So I could just come there and edit that thickness to 0.5. So I have 0.5. Now if I say store as, I'm going to store as original at that architectural something. So architectural 100, replace it. I've replaced it. So if I say okay, have you seen the thickness increased? I don't know if you saw that. I hope you did. So that's what I did in this other finished work. In this other finished work. That's why you saw it like this. So that's the same thing for changing the line weight, the line color, the line type, and all. You just have to know the line you are working on. And how do you know the line you are working on? You select it, select the components that you want to change the line. Let's see. Select, let's say for example, this is a door. Select the component you want to change the line. Go to the settings and look for the line. And how do you find the line? It's always under cut surfaces. So let's see, cut surfaces. Okay, for components, it's not for components. For components, it's not always undercut surfaces. Let's check. Floor plans and section. This is where I was looking for. Now, for the symbol, you see, we already have symbol line, symbol pen. You could just change it. I could change color and all the line type. So the line type is this, and it's 0.18 millimeters. I could make it, let's use a different color that will give it contrast. So 0. That's black. Let's see, symbol pen. See what's gonna happen. Okay, it didn't change because that's symbol. Let's see, override line type, override object span. So if you override those things, that's where this affects this. So when you override them, and then see, you could change the line type. Let's change the line type to that and see. Okay, line type didn't work. Let's see. Okay, I see. So you see, that's what happens. Then we don't need this kind of line type, so let's just off that. we just need the door black. So now that you've done settings for one, you could pick the parameters and inject it in all the doors. I'm only giving you an instance. You could do same for windows. Don't make the mistake of selecting a window and a door and hoping to get the same settings, or trying to inject the parameter of a door on a window, vice versa, or on any other components, because it will only change the components to what, to the so the source components. I hope that is understood. Now let's move over to, we've talked about dimension, we've talked about wall thickness, pen type, and that. So let's move over to section and elevation. Section and elevation. Now this is a typical bungalow design, and this is a finished working drawing. As you can see, we have our section line AA, BB. But for this other one, we don't have. So to draw your section line, you have to go to documents and you see section 2. So you click on section 2 and you, first of all, you click on the first point you want to start from, click on the last point you want to end, and then point the eye to where you want the section to be looking. So I want it to be looking back. So that's why I point that. So we have S01, section 01. So with that being done, click on escape. Let's select it and go to the viewer. Let's see. Select it. Open views from selection. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's the view. You see, we have S01 building section under section folder. So let's go to our project navigator and look for that view. So you go to your main project, then scroll down. Okay, you see section folder, and then this is the section line we just got. So if you click on it, you will notice that we have section. How cool is that? So the section cuts through the bathroom, lobby, and should I say dining or living room, because that's what we see. Let's see. Toilet, lobby, yeah, living room. So we view the dining from the living room. So that's how this section cuts for this plan. But for our reference project, if we check, let's look at section AA moving this way. So click on it. Let's check what its name is. So it's section A under section folder. So let's go. Main section folders, we have A. So double clicking on A will load and show us what we have. Let's give it some time. I think it's heavy. Okay. So this is section A. Now for our section A, we have scratching through the master's WC, master's bedroom, lobby, living room, lobby, etc. I think it's a mix up here. Either the section line was moved or something happened, because there's irregularity which has to be fixed. Okay. Alright, but I think we can simply fix that by selecting all the fill tools and moving them to their proper position, including text. So that's it. We're going to be fixing that later. But then let's go and check other designs. So we have the B. Let's check B. What B looks like. B should not shift so bad. Let's hope. Okay, B also shifted. I think maybe I shifted one, that's why. But it needs some adjustments to correct. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, these are all fill tools, fill elements: concrete, hardcore, earth, foundation fitting, and all that. So that's basically it. Then I think you should do same. You should do same for the project, the tutorial project you are working on. I think that should be our assignment for next class. Now, make sure that you dimension properly and section properly. Then, I thought about text and leaders previously. So if you don't know how to write your text, how to dimension, and how to put leaders, kindly visit our previous videos and scan through. You will be able to, by the end, you will be able to, do much with those information. Now, the last one. Okay, so I think we've come to the close for today. So labels and markers is what I was saying we've taught in our previous lectures, but just for carrying everyone along, let me show you. This is what labels and markers look like. This is a label, and this is a marker, elevation marker, E2. So in order to put, these are all markers. Now, a section line is also a marker, but it's a section line. We call it a section line. So you can see that we have elevation tools. That's how you put the marker. Section tools. That's how you put the markers. Now, the labels. This is where you put the labels. Yeah. So you just click on it. Click on where you want to write your label, and then let's see. All right. And then you have it there, and you edit it by typing what you want. Alright, so that's just random text trying to explain to you what a marker, a label is. So you can then adjust everything to your taste, make it what you want. Just do well to check out previous videos, because that's where you're going to really understand things properly. So anyways, that's how I got myself a nice working, nice list of labels like this. I type everything out, same thing here. Okay, we've come to the end of our lectures for today. If you have stayed up to this time, I want to congratulate you. You did a great job, and I think you are not different from the ordinary, because it's not easy to be intentional about learning. So kindly hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so that you won't miss out on subsequent video uploads. And also If there is any part you found unclear, do well to pause this video and play it again. If you still do not understand any part, organize your uncertainties into a question and drop it in the comment section. While I'm scrolling through, I will look at it and know the suitable way to approach response. I don't mind making a full tutorial course just for your question to be answered, because your understanding is my priority. Alright, make sure you share this to friends, families, colleagues, mentors, and as many people that you know need a skill upgrade. Alright, so that's basically all for today. See you on the next one. Bye.